You know what's strange? Some of the most intelligent, emotionally aware people you'll ever meet are also some of the most exhausted. Not because they're doing too much, but because they're thinking too much. They replay conversations that ended hours ago. They map out scenarios that may never happen. They lie awake at 2 a.m. Not because something went wrong, but because their mind keeps asking, what if? And here's the psychological paradox. The same mental habit that makes someone thoughtful, careful, empathetic, is the same habit that quietly drains them. So what's actually happening in the mind of someone who thinks too much? Psychologists call this pattern rumination. It's when the mind loops the same thoughts again and again, especially around uncertainty, past events, or social situations. But this doesn't happen because someone is weak. In many cases, it's the opposite. Overthinkers often have brains that are extremely good at pattern recognition. They're constantly scanning, processing, looking for meaning. The problem isn't intelligence. It's that the system never gets a signal to stop. Neurologically, this connects to the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning, analysis, self-reflection. In overthinkers, this region stays active, even during rest. And the brain's default mode network keeps generating internal dialogue. The result? A mind that's always online, always reviewing, always preparing, even when nothing is actually wrong. For many people, this habit starts early, often in unpredictable environments. When moods shift without warning, when mistakes have strong consequences, the brain adapts. It learns to think ahead, to anticipate everything, to analyze every possibility. Because if you can predict what's coming, maybe you can protect yourself. In that sense, overthinking isn't a flaw. It's an adaptation. A smart nervous system, doing exactly what it learned. But not all overthinking looks the same. Psychologists describe two types. The first, reflective thinking. This is when someone turns inward, to understand themselves, to process emotions, to make sense of things. In balance, this can be a strength. It's linked to emotional intelligence and deeper self-awareness. The second type, brooding rumination. This is where the mind keeps circling problems without moving toward resolution. This is the version that affects sleep, creates decision paralysis, and makes people overanalyze every interaction. The tricky part is how easily one turns into the other. A moment of reflection can quietly slide into a spiral. And because thinking feels productive, it's hard to notice when it stops helping. Psychologists call this the illusion of mental progress. The brain feels like it's solving something, but it's actually just looping. There's also a chemical reason for this. Your brain releases small amounts of dopamine during problem solving, even imagined problem solving. So when someone runs through scenarios, analyzing every angle, the brain is being rewarded. Just for thinking. Not for finding an answer. Just for staying active. This is why telling someone, just stop thinking about it, rarely works. The brain has an incentive to keep going. But here's what often gets overlooked. People who overthink also tend to have higher cognitive empathy. They notice subtle tone shifts. They pick up on unspoken tension. They think carefully about how their words affect others. The same sensitivity that makes overthinking exhausting also makes them deeply perceptive. But perception without resolution is tiring. They notice everything, weigh every possibility, and still struggle to find clarity. Because the truth is, not every problem can be solved by thinking. Some things have to be felt, decided, or released. That's why many therapists focus not on stopping thoughts, but on changing the relationship to them. Instead of, I need to figure this out, the shift becomes, my mind is generating a concern right now. It's subtle, but it creates space. And maybe that's the key insight. Overthinking isn't a personality flaw. It's a highly active mind that learned to stay alert. The challenge isn't to shut it off. It's to gently teach it that it doesn't always have to be on guard. Because sometimes, the strongest thing an active mind can learn is how to rest.